Off the top, out goes Matt Gaetz. In comes Pamela Bondi. President-elect Donald Trump has his second-string pick ready to go just hours after the former Republican congressman announced he was withdrawing from consideration for DOJ's top spot. CNN reports that Gaetz made the announcement via social media just 45 minutes after they asked him for comment on a story that the House Ethics Committee investigating Gaetz for sexual misconduct had not one but now two stories about Gaetz having sex with a 17-year-old at a party. Gaetz continues to deny these allegations, and the Justice Department declined to charge him after its investigation. Gaetz said, "While the momentum was strong, it's clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction and that it will be important for Trump to begin on day one." Gaetz has resigned from the 118th Congress. He can't get that seat back. And CNN reports Friday Gaetz says he won't be returning to Congress in the new session. But enough about Gaetz. Former Florida Attorney General and career prosecutor Pamela Bondi is the new pick.
I value experience. I like people that have some inside experience. I know you don't want somebody from the swamp to manage the swamp, but I like the fact that she's got serious prosecutorial experience. She's obviously a political figure and a media figure too, but 20 years in a large state handling an office with significant cases and being in the trenches trying cases, those are good signs from my perspective.
Bondi was also Trump's lawyer during his first impeachment. She has since been at a conservative think tank with former Trump officials. Bondi once supported Trump's false claims that there was voter fraud in swing states Georgia and Pennsylvania during the 2020 election. But when Trump made the announcement, he said, "For too long, the partisan Department of Justice has been weaponized against me and other Republicans. Not anymore." Pam will refocus the DOJ to its intended purpose of fighting crime and making America safe again. Now, once Trump takes office January 20th, one of his first acts may be to pardon the hundreds of January 6 criminal defendants who've been convicted of crimes in connection with the attack on the Capitol. He's already said publicly he would pardon many of them, and at least 10 defendants have actually asked their judge to postpone criminal proceedings because they believe they may receive a pardon once he takes office. Now, most of those have been denied, but this week, Trump appointee Judge Carl Nichols granted Edward Jacob Lang's request to postpone his trial. Nichols agreed to the postponement, but said in open court that anything approaching wholesale pardons would be beyond frustrating and disappointing, according to the Washington Post. But if Trump decides to pardon all of the federal January 6 defendants, he's going to have the power to do it in one fell swoop.
The pardon power is unlimited. So let's imagine a different president decides, I'm going to pardon everybody who's engaged in inside trading against federal law who's over 6 feet. Utterly arbitrary. They can do it.
The federal government continues to expend an extraordinary amount of resources prosecuting what FBI Director Chris Wray calls domestic terrorism. This week alone, in D.C. federal court, there were multiple trials, conferences, hearings, and sentencing, all for January 6 defendants. Meantime, as the criminal cases against President-elect Trump continue to crumble, a Georgia appeals court that was set to hear argument over whether Atlanta prosecutor Fani Willis can remain on the case abruptly canceled the December 5th oral argument in a one-line order with no explanation. Willis indicted Trump and 18 others for conspiring to commit election fraud after Biden won the state in 2020. Trump's lawyers argued that Willis should be removed from the case because she had a conflict of interest with her handpicked lead prosecutor for the team, Nathan Wade, with whom she had a romantic relationship. Judge Scott McAfee said that Willis could remain on the case after Wade resigned from the prosecution team. Trump's lawyers appealed that decision, but now all of it is up in the air as Trump heads back to the White House in January. The judge in Trump's hush money trial says he will consider Trump's motion to toss the case out entirely. Trump was set to be sentenced next week, but Justice Juan Marchand paused the case. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg disagrees with the decision. He wants to freeze the case until after Trump leaves office in 2029. Trump's attorneys say having the case hanging over him as president would cause, quote, unconstitutional impediments to his ability to govern. Trump has until December 2nd to formally ask to toss the case. Bragg will have a week to respond, and then Marchand can decide how he wants to proceed.